Tina and I have been together for 20 years. Our marriage has had its share of ups and downs. We've even gone through a divorce. Yes, you heard right. Tina and I have been married to each other twice.
And through it all, we've learned that our relationship can only grow with God in the middle, bringing us together on purpose, in purpose, for His divine purpose.
So now we're sharing our story with the goal to encourage and inspire other married couples to love each other as God loves them.
Our family is reconciled. Our relationship is stronger than it's ever been.
Because we know with God in the middle of it all, we can handle anything.
We're not perfect, but we're perfect for each other.
And that's the beauty of it. Because with His love and our love, it's all love. Good Saturday morning, everybody. How we doing? Glad y'all can come through. I'm Brian. How you doing? And this woman right here to my immediate left, she is not once, not twice, but 3 times the lady. Yes, I said that. She is my sugar pie honey bunch. You are my first, my last, my everything. Let me see if I can say it like you did. We got a thing together, baby, didn't we? We got a thing together, don't we, girl? This is my wife, Christina. Please say hi to the people.
Hey y'all, good to see you. We're gonna start today off with a bunch of song
I was
lyrics.
trying to give my Barry White. I don't know if I did that as good as he did, but you know, tried to get that Barry White thing going. Hey, real quick before we get going, complete, total, major shout out to every veteran out there. Salute to you all. Happy Veterans Day. I got many veterans in my family.
Yeah, me too.
Shout out to all the Marines, Semper Fi, everybody else wearing uniforms. Happy Veterans Day, but I gotta always give a shout out to the Marines first.
I know.
Marines.
I understand.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. Now, I was not a Marine, but I inherited the devil dog spirit.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
From my pops. So shout out to my pops. How you doing, sir? Yeah, so this love is so really kind of wrote itself.
It did.
It kind of wrote itself. It was like a light bulb moment, just kind of aha type of thing. Tina's favorite saying from, what is it? Coming to America? Aha. You know, that part.
It's aha.
See?
Aha.
Had that moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Check it out. Tina and I, what was it, 2 weeks ago, we went outside, you know, just to get out. You know, I had my moment to recover from, you know, mouth surgery, things like that. We had an opportunity to come up from air from all the family things that are going on, you know, professional things, personal things.
Yeah.
And we just needed to just stop what we were doing and just go outside.
Yeah.
And just go straight outside. So when we walked out the front door, the first words Christina said were, "My God, it feels good out here. This is beautiful."
Definitely. It was beautiful. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. You know, sometimes if you're in a space where it just seems like you're just cooped up all the time, sometimes you just need a change of scenery. That's probably why people go walking and go
You need a break.
to a lake and, you know, and hiking. Nah, I still ain't hiking, but I see why people like going out in nature because apparently, you know, they say that, you know, it helps you relieve stress and, you know, you're able to kind of get some clarity and,
Right.
you know, when you step outside, it's a little different when you step outside instead of staying cooped up in your little box.
No, I get it, but I'm not doing any nature walks anytime soon. I don't want to go into the nature.
You want to go
I
into
don't-
nature?
Closest I get is Nature Valley granola bars. That's all I got. You know, the crunchy flakes. You know, that's.
Well, I mean, they have parks like that you can go and walk through.
True.
That,
But I can also
You're
walk
still
there.
not
Yeah, absolutely not. Kind of defeating the purpose of what I'm saying here, but y'all follow me. You know, just stay with us. You know, in that moment of us going outside, it was a slight breeze.
yeah. It
Leaves are on the
really was
ground.
beautiful, you guys. It really was.
It was super beautiful. We could have just stayed out there until the street lights came on. Man, y'all remember those days when you're outside and you just, you know, weather's super dope, everything's going right, and you know that street light kind of flickering on, and you got to get in the house right before, you know, you get in trouble. It was that kind of a feel, like we could have just stayed out there for all that time, and it was really, really great. And here's the beauty in going outside, like with Tina and her nature walks and everything like that. You tell me how
I
it goes.
said they said.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just checking.
I'm not an outdoorsy
Okay,
person,
I got you.
but going
Now-
outside in the front yard is
Now
cool.
put me outside with the snow. That's peaceful. That's beautiful.
It's cold.
Serene. Nice.
It's cold, y'all.
But let me get back. But what we were trying to say is when you go outside, it can change your viewpoint.
Yeah.
It can give some clarity. It can provide some peace, like Tina was saying, and give you a lot of insight.
Yeah.
Those nature walks, even though, Tina and I are saying we wouldn't do them, just going for a walk, period.
Yeah.
It gives you some insight, some peace, some semblance, some moments of just breathability, just,
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you go outside. But when you have those moments of being set in your ways, you don't want to do much, or you don't want to change. And it's a good example of, what we just said, when I'm like, no, I'm not going for a nature walk, right? I'm setting my ways with the nature walk situation. So now I'm staying inside my box. I'm not thinking outside of myself. I'm not thinking outside of what we can do innovatively to be more at peace, right? And sometimes that happens in our relationships when we don't think outside the box, when we're so set in our ways and we're not dealing well with one another. Every once in a while, we just have to be willing to step outside of ourselves, right? So let's take a step outside together in this Love is Sold entitled, Step Outside of Yourself, with the subtitle, It's Beautiful Outside. It is. It's gorgeous to just, think outside of what you normally do. Let me tell you guys a quick story. Real quick story. It's about a company named Kodak. Kodak was a camera and camera film company. For you youngsters out there, we actually had cameras outside of our cell phones that we had to use, and also had to have this thing called camera film in order to take pictures.
Yeah.
They don't get to experience the time to go to the film shop to have your stuff developed. You have to wait almost a week to get it done. You know what I'm saying? The anticipation of seeing what's there. We did that.
Do they still do that then?
Probably like those
I don't
people,
even know.
like hobby people. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Like
everything's
people have their dark
digital
rooms
now
and stuff like that.
I don't know. Drop in the comments. Do they still do that?
I think so. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But with Kodak, they were set in their ways. They thought that cameras and camera film were going to be it forever, and they didn't have to change anything. They had the golden ticket. It was that. But here we come with the advent of digital cameras. Now you don't need to have a camera.
No.
And then we come through with the cell phones. So there's no need for cameras or camera film, right? So now that Kodak used to have the market cornered and they were selling all kinds of cameras and camera film, because they're set in their ways, the business model started to collapse.
Right.
And then they went belly up. And now Kodak's no more.
Right.
The business collapsed. So now I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, Brian, get to the point. I get it. I understand. What's a camera company have to do with a relationship? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes we're so set into ourselves we can't see innovative ways to consider caring for or being in tune with our spouse, that we may be missing an opportunity to do better and be better. So much so that thinking outside of the box or not thinking outside of the box can hurt or collapse our relationships. Get the picture now?
I see what you did there.
Kodak, you get it. Bada boom.
You have
There you
yourself a Kodak moment there.
Oh wow! I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Are you going
I will
on
give you that
on
one.
camera saying that I'm actually funny?
I never said that. I
No,
said
are
that
you
was a
saying
good
that I'm funny?
quip. It
You
was
guys
a
heard
good
it.
comeback.
You guys heard it. He said
I never said that.
Are you saying that I'm funny?
We can replay it. I said I'll give you that one. It was a good comeback.
Okay.
You didn't laugh.
Let me keep moving. Anywho, it says in the Bible that it's really good for you to go out and spend time with your loved ones. In Ecclesiastes 9:9, it says that enjoy life with the one you love. It's really healthy to get out, to do things together, spend time with one another. For me, it's really amazing when I see couples. They're kind of when they seem distant from one another. And when you really get to the root of the matter, it's because they haven't spent time with one another. When you start spending time, like, okay, so let's say you're running a business or what have you, you're so focused on the business, or you're sometimes, for us ladies, we're so focused on the kids, or we're so focused on this, or we're so focused on that. We're not taking the time to make sure that we're cultivating our relationship. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't run a business. It doesn't mean you can't love on your kids and do the things that are necessary.
Yeah.
But what is also necessary is this right here, your relationship. And if you let this falter, it trickles through everything else. And that's where the enemy tries to come right in the middle, and you don't want that. So spending time with each other, it's definitely something that you really, really have to make sure that you do. So when you step outside, you start to, figure out ways to love on one another, which is what we did the other day. Because I was like, hey, let's go outside.
Yep.
And he was like, go outside. And I was like, yeah. So your girl went outside, and I was throwing a football. And that was something outside of myself.
You were throwing a football. You
I
let
was
it get out of your hand.
I was throwing
and
the
it came
football. Your
towards
girl
me.
can throw a really nice spiral, and your boy found out that I could actually throw a football.
I have never seen anybody throw a football and the football didn't move. I mean,
I
like,
was
it
throwing really good.
No, I'll give it to you. You threw a couple of them. I'm not gonna.
You said my spirals
Yes,
were
I did.
good.
Your spirals are awesome, baby. You were awesome. You did
See,
so well.
He get in front of the
So
camera and
well.
try to say something different.
So she
that
did.
day, he said that I could throw a football. Really?
Continue.
I can see you.
No, go ahead.
Anyhow,
go ahead.
enjoy having fun with your spouse, even if it's going outside and throwing a football that you never thrown before, but you threw a perfect spiral.
She did throw a couple of perfect spirals. I'll give that to you. Absolutely. So when we're looking at going outside and throwing a spiral, like your boy got an arm with a cannon right here, that's certifiable. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I got to register that. What we need to do is just have that really good, wholesome, great time, spent with each other. We need to start looking outside of ourselves, because what we're doing is we get to see that everything that we're doing may not always be, the best way of doing it. Not that it's wrong,
Yeah.
but it could be better. When I'm on my job and I'm talking about, things at my job, it's like I compartmentalize. If this is not going well, we really got to hone in on that. The things that are going pretty decently, maybe it could be better. Just because it's broke doesn't mean it can't get better. You know what I mean? If we stayed with the mindset of, it's we're stuck in our ways and it is what it is, and we're getting along just fine, and it's not broke, so don't fix it, then we're all still doing steamboats, coal trains, and stagecoaches. No airplanes, no innovation. We're not on the internet. Y'all don't see us.
like
We're not.
that.
You know what I mean? So we gotta look at ways of spicing it up sometimes, and just step outside, and that also helps with studying your spouse, right?
I like
Because
what you said about that with innovative ways, because if companies are trying to figure out innovative ways to move their company forward, why wouldn't you want to do that in your relationship?
you kind of have to, because you grow,
Yeah.
you evolve,
Yeah.
you mature, you change. You're not 25 anymore, you're 26. See what I did there?
Okay.
Oh, I'm smooth.
He almost got in trouble, y'all.
but you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
what you did yesterday and what you liked yesterday may not be what you like today, and it may
Yeah.
not be what you like tomorrow. So I have to kind of think outside myself and find out ways to see a little bit more clearly. Just like what it says in 1 Corinthians 13 and 12, we don't yet see things clearly. We're squinting in a fog, peering through a mist, but it won't be long before the weather clears and the sun shines bright. We'll see it all then, see it all as clearly as God sees us, knowing Him directly just as He knows us. And what I want to focus on is the not seeing things clearly. If we have that Kodak moment that you were talking about, we may miss the mark. We may miss an opportunity to says, okay, Tina doesn't like, or Christina doesn't like red roses anymore. She likes lilacs, or Christina doesn't like pancakes anymore. She wants, steak and potatoes. You know what I mean? So if I keep feeding her pancakes, she's like, pancakes again? What is this? And so we miss that mark of trying to figure out a better viewpoint. I don't want to have a distorted view of things on how, Tina has changed or changing me, I can get stagnant and bore the mess out of Tina, if I'm still stuck in the ways when I was, 25 and 26, it just doesn't liven up the relationship. You got to keep your relationship on a lively terrain. If we take time to consider stepping outside of ourselves, we can potentially see a fresher perspective.
Right.
Like, for example, us men, when we ask for directions, it's ingrained in us that we should and must know how to get everywhere. Stop blinking at me like that. I have learned. I have evolved. Stop that. But there's many times where Christina, and she's alluding to it already, where Christina will tell me to turn this way, and I'm like, no, I got it, I'm going straight, or I won't make the turn, and that was literally the turn I should have made, and now we're spending an extra 30 minutes to an hour trying to get to where we should have been had I listened to her, or had I did what I was supposed to do, instead of being so stuck in my ways and saying, I know how to get there, right? Gotta have different ways of thinking. Maybe, like if the scripture says, we can see things a little bit more clearly if we just kind of step outside of ourselves.
I was gonna make a joke right there, but I'm not gonna do that.
I'm glad because it's not,
I'm gonna honor you because you really have grown. You really have allowed me to help you navigate, which in a sense you're allowing me to help you. So I'm not gonna mess with you on that one. But I do see your growth, and I see your leadership, and how we neither one of us are stuck on doing things just one way.
And I also want to honor you and show that you're growing and maturing as well, because you skipped the joke, which is great.
You know what?
It's great.
I have funny jokes. I'm funny.
Moving on.
I am funny.
Yes, you funny. Yes,
Really?
You are funny.
Really?
You're so funny.
That's what we're gonna do? Okay.
Listen,
Hey,
we only got so much time now.
Okay, go ahead.
But the
I am funny.
reason why it's called setting your ways is because we become comfortable in what we do. When I get up and put on the same shirt and put on the same pair of shorts to just lounge around the house, I'm comfortable in that, right? I'm in that comfort zone, and truly that comfort zone can become a crutch and limit our ability for growth and adaptability. So if I figured out you like steak and potatoes, and I just make that for the next 15 years, you can become weary of steak and potatoes and be like, dude, change it up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And there's no spice to the relationship.
I think that's the opposite though, because like you make a really, really good meal, and then I want you to make that same meal for like 2 weeks. And then you're
I was just using me as an example, but I'm glad you said that. You know what I mean?
I do. When he cooks something, I'm like, okay, let's have that again
Stay
tomorrow.
with it. I'm like, can we just kind of shift it a little
I'll
bit?
stay with a meal for like 2 weeks. No lie. 2 weeks, it'll be the same meal.
And for 2 weeks, I'm like, yep, we gotta.
You're over this?
Yeah, we gotta change this up. We gotta step
But
outside of
it's
ourselves.
good.
It's good, but it could be better.
Okay. I see what you did there. Okay.
It's just like while you're at work, because we mentioned work a couple times, right?
Yeah.
It's just like when you're at work. I work in HR. We have these processes, and have you ever worked with an individual who does not like change? You know, someone who's institutionalized at the job, been there for 30, 40, 50, 80, 90 years, have done the same long-winded paper process that takes 4 hours, but hey,
Yeah.
I like it. I want to continue it. I don't want to change it. And what I've learned in those moments is that people at work, and this correlates with the relationships, people at work are set in their ways and will be defensive a lot as far as setting their ways because of exposure. I'm so set in my ways and I've done it this way, I am not in tune with technological advances. So if I change, I can be exposed and show that I may not be able to adapt. Or I may not be willing to adapt.
When you step outside of yourself, you're given an opportunity to
To
learn.
learn something, to
Yeah.
do something, but I'm stuck and set in my ways. I've
Yeah.
done this for 30 years. You're not going to come in here, newbie, rookie, whoever you
And
are,
change it all
and
up.
change how
Yeah.
this whole thing operates. So what we need to do, just like within work, how about that training opportunity? Give some space to learn something new. So
Right.
in our relationships, the first thing we need to do is ensure that we have space in our relationships for that change, for that exposure. That exposure, another word for it is vulnerability. So we're trying to be vulnerable in a sense. If Christina is able to share her feelings, I should be able to share mine. Now, stepping outside of ourselves, when I'm sharing my feelings with Christina, she should be actively listening, right? And not trying to figure out a way to interject and say how my expressing my feelings is making her feel.
Yeah.
That shuts each other down. And it's the same for guys. We have to listen and not interject. If I may say, what you're saying is just
Right.
completely out of whack and you're making me feel bad. So stop saying that, right? So you're not giving credence to what your spouse is saying.
Yeah.
So we all have to listen to each other, but I want to talk to the men. We have to speak to our wives in such a way that they're understanding what we're saying. The louder we speak, the less they hear. Or at least for mine, the louder I speak, the less she hears. It's not that she's not listening, it's just that she can't hear it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have to not only speak to our wives in a certain way, but we have to actively listen.
Yeah.
We have to come to a common ground and we have to share our experiences, our feelings with one another in a way that is safe, in a way that is productive, in a way that is positive, and it's the same for each other. It's the same for you, it's the same for me as far as listening to each other.
Yeah, you opened up the door on this one, so I'm gonna walk right in here.
All
I'm gonna
right.
walk right in here. Now that you were talking about safety and being safe, one question that you have to ask yourself as you know, a married person, you're married to your spouse. Are you a safe space for your spouse? Are you safe? Can they come to you knowing that they could, you know, release their feelings and let you know, hey, this is how we're feeling? I know I mentioned earlier in the episode, or in the love episode, about spending time. I know I said episode and not love episode. I know. About spending time with your spouse and learning how to, you know, share your life with your spouse. That's actually a skill that has to be developed. You know, we're individuals and then we're coming together and we're trying to learn how to work with one another. And I'll just share you know, my testimony. There's a scripture in 1 Peter 3:7 where Peter goes on to talk about husbands, telling them to dwell with your wife according to knowledge. Now, the according to knowledge piece implies that you have to gain an understanding of what blesses and distresses your spouse. So, quick story. Earlier this week, and this is me trying to learn how to live with my husband.
I'm gonna like this story right here, y'all.
You
Go
are,
ahead.
really? You want to tell the story?
No, I'm listening.
Do you know where I'm going?
I'm actively listening.
Are you?
Yes,
you
I
know
am.
where I'm going?
I do.
So, me being a wife, a mother, and there's certain things that I just feel like, hey, I could do it. I could do it myself, But I'm learning because I have someone here that can help me. So it's a behavior that I have to learn. I have to learn how to ask for help. So I had a procedure done on my foot, and I wasn't thinking it was a big deal. I was like, hey, no big deal. So I didn't ask my husband to drive me to and from the doctor's office. I figured after the procedure, I'd drive myself home. Well, of course, after the procedure, I was able to drive myself home, but that's because my foot was still numb
Yeah.
from the procedure.
Yeah.
So I could drive myself home. And what happened is once my husband found out that I had the procedure, because I didn't tell him about it, I just figured, hey, I'll just deal with it. It's not no big deal.
Didn't even tell me about it.
Look, okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm developing.
I'm still actively listening. Go right ahead.
Anywho, so what he did was, like he was talking about, hey, husbands, you need to talk to your wife and tell them how you feel. Well, he so graciously was talking to me, not yelling. He wasn't happy with the fact that I went through this procedure on my own and drove myself home, which was not safe, by the way, because it was my right foot. That's your driving foot. Anywho, he sat down and he said, sweetheart, let me talk to you. Let me let you know how I feel about this. And of course, just listening to him share how much it's important for him to take care of me, to make sure that I'm okay, to make sure that I'm safe. And I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought of it as, oh, not that big a deal. It's an outpatient surgery thing, whatever, I'll be good. But, as my husband, he's like, you don't have to do this stuff on your own.
Sure
I'm
don't.
here to help you.
Sure am.
And thank God, let me say that again. Thank God he took the rest of the day off. After he found out what was going on, he let his boss know, look, I got to go take care of my wife. I'm going home. And had he not done that, I would have been sitting at home in the most excruciating pain. Because once that shot, I don't know what it was, Novocaine, something that they put in my foot.
I don't think it was the Novocaine
well,
that they put in your foot.
I don't know what it was. It
The
was
numbing agent?
Yeah, a numbing agent that they put in my foot. Once that wore off, whoo boy. I mean, I was calling the doctor thinking I needed something, stronger than what I already had. So because I had him there to help me, I didn't have to move around the house like I would have normally had done on my own.
Yeah.
So it's just, even though I didn't mean it to come out that way, but I was showing and communicating that I had no faith in God because, I have a husband here. I had no faith in my husband. And I was showing pride, like I could do it myself. If that's the way I would want it to continue to think, then, be by yourself. But I have someone here that is willing to help me through even the things I think are really, really little.
But that could have been a major thing because
Yeah.
what I was explaining to Tina was because your foot is numb, you have no control over how much pressure you're putting on the gas.
Yeah.
You have no much pressure that you're putting on the brake.
Yeah.
You don't even know which one your foot is on. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You struggle with driving when your foot's not numb. I kind of threw that in there, but I'm just saying. So I just wanted to make sure that you were good, you were safe.
Yeah.
I was like, let me follow behind you, put my hazard lights on or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and he was like, give me an opportunity to love on you this way. Because here's the thing, if let's go back to the beginning. What did we promise? For better, for worse?
For sickness and in health.
Sickness and in health. I was robbing him of the opportunity to fulfill the vow that he gave to me.
I see what you did there.
I robbed him of that. And because I did that, it made him feel some kind of way. Now he wasn't angry, mad, ticked off or whatever. He was a little bothered. But it was just the fact that I promised you I would do this for you. Give me the opportunity. Step outside of yourself, Tina, and let someone help you. I don't know if that helps someone, but that show did help me.
And that's what we do on our jobs. That's what we do in our marriages. We ask for that opportunity. Now, unlike jobs, we can always give that opportunity. You may not have an opportunity at your job to do the promotion thing or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You may knock it out the ballpark, but here, when you're knocking it out the ballpark, like Tina said or Christina said, don't rob your spouse of that opportunity to continue to knock it out the ballpark. Now, if something's going on, flip it. Christina says, I got this foot thing, and I said, and you should be fine. Now that's another problem that we need to deal with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
But I didn't even give you the opportunity. And I didn't even share with him that, oh, yeah, I got a doctor's appointment, but I didn't share with him what was
severity
taking
of the
place.
situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, not doing that again. I sure did. I apologized and told him, I apologize for robbing you of the opportunity to fulfill your vows.
and once we have established that we have this space to have that conversation, and Christina and I have that space to where I can say, hey, can I share my feelings about your numb foot? We once we have that space, we have to lean in on stepping out, right?
Yeah.
Being intentional with stepping outside the box. Now, I could have held that and said, I'm going to play this card at a certain time. That doesn't do us any good.
Not at all.
This is not a game.
No.
We're not holding cards. We're not, trying to say, oh, remember when you had your numb foot and you wouldn't let me help you? That's not cool, right?
When you had your numb foot.
So we want to make sure that we're able to express in the moments with the safe space. And even in your safe space, if it becomes to a point where that conversation is moving in the direction of a heated discussion, it's like, hey, let's take a break, let's take some time out, let's go outside and throw the football.
Now, even in the way you expressed it, though, you expressed it in a way where I knew it was bothering you, but you expressed it in a way where you didn't belittle me.
Right.
You didn't yell at me.
Right.
You didn't say, "See, this is what all y'all do," and and just like we were saying earlier, it's a learned behavior. So I had learned how to do stuff on my own or just be there for everybody else. But then when it came for me, I didn't take care of me. You didn't take the opportunity to run the bus over me. You know what I'm saying?
But it also God gives us an opportunity to test our faith. This was a test of faith for you to have faith in God and to have faith in me to take care of you. This was a test of faith for me in how to deliver the message. Right? So the Bible says faith comes by hearing. So if I'm yelling and I'm demonstrative and I'm talking slick, that doesn't give you the faith to know that I'm going to be there when you need me.
Right. And then you also share the truth. You're supposed to share the truth in love. And if you're sharing the truth, just like I was talking to the other day, you got to guard the way you share something, because if you're sharing it so harsh, the truth that you're trying to present, you're not going to get it, because people are going to be damaged by the way that you're presenting the truth.
So now that we have the space, now that we have the faith, now that we're being tested, step outside yourself. Step outside yourself. At some point, we're going to have to.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we're going to have to.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, we do. We got to step up, step out, step into the out now. Have you ever seen that movie, Home?
No.
Yeah.
I have not.
It's a cool movie. He says, can I come into the out now?
That sounds confusing.
No, because they were stuck in the house, so they wanted to come in to the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so
just say, can I go outside?
If you want to come into the out now, the answer is yes.
I'm just going to say, can I go outside?
Oh, see, now we got to sit down and watch the movie.
I mean,
it's called Home. Y'all have seen the movie Home.
Simple. I want to go outside.
You come in to the out.
So do you go out to the end now?
You're missing the whole point.
Totally, obviously, totally. So, listen. One of the beautiful things about stepping outside,
Or into the out now.
stepping outside of yourself is the growth factor.
Yeah.
You know, you're not only learning about your spouse, you're not only learning about what they have evolved into, but you're learning about yourself and what you're evolving into. You know, you're also creating room for God to grow you in certain ways that you didn't even think were possible.
Right. You got to step out into Him. You got to step out and allow Him to control every aspect of your life. And you also got to step out and allow God to have room in your life. Make room for Jesus. Make room.
Make room for Jesus.
Yeah.
Where have I heard
You know what?
that before? Never mind.
To be continued on that.
So, listen, everybody. We had some fun. We had a good time.
had a good time.
But we're going to go ahead and step out into the inside so that we can step inside to the outside, or whatever that means. And we're gonna go
to the out.
we're gonna go out. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have a good time.
You
We're
have
gonna
got
step
to watch
outside.
the movie.
We're gonna step outside of ourselves.
It's really good.
And we're gonna go because that's our time.
Yeah.
But before we step out into the, I don't even know how to say it. Before we go, can y'all share the love and hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube
my
channel by
God.
going to It's All Love 109. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter by going to It's All Love 109. Go ahead and share us, leave us a comment. Share a comment with us about the outside, inside shirt, or inside out.
Step in
Yeah.
to the out.
All of that. Yeah, shoot us a comment. Let us know what you think. Tina, if you can go ahead and pray us inside out, please.
Sure. We pray that you were blessed by what you heard today and you could see the love in the middle of it all. We also pray that the love shown to us by Jesus, you're able to show that same love to your spouse, knowing that you can love them or him or her because He's first loved you.
Amen. All right, man. We have lost total control of everything. This is all anarchy and chaos. We got one more thing to say. Remember, with you, your spouse, and God all on the same team.
It's all love.
Now y'all go ahead and go inside, outside, and flip yourself, and you flip out. Put your right foot in and put your right foot out. Y'all go ahead and get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. We done lost it.
Into the out now.
We're done here. It's over. See ya.